Everybody, Scratch Off Chicken Man here. Welcome back to another attempt at escaping crippling financial debt. We got tickets for today. We got crossword top prize 50 grand. That sounds like a plan. And we got Josh, who will be next. Top prize $100,000. That'd be a fantastic way to end the week. Let's get started. Hope everybody's had a good week. We are on Friday. Hope everyone's got plans. If you're where I'm from, you got a long weekend ahead of you. I love the long weekend. Unless you're in up to your eyeballs in debt, then it's just another day that you gotta just gotta kind of get through, and that's about it. Anyways, I was thinking, get somebody's, with the weekend coming up, and I started laughing about it. I just the idea if you have a dog and a baby, you have like the ultimate get out of jail free card for like any plans that could be happening. Just the idea. If you have a dog and a baby, it's just like if someone asks you to do something, you can kind of just be like, oh, but I gotta get to take the dog out, so I gotta go home early, or like, oh, I can't really go away. The dog's at home, someone's gotta look after the dog. Or with the baby, it's like, yeah, well, we could, but we gotta find a sitter for the baby, and then oh, we gotta bring the baby, and then people are like, oh, we don't really want to invite them then because they're gonna bring the baby, and the baby's gonna kind of ruin it. Especially if people like their kids already got older, then they're just like, "Oh, we've already kind of been through that. We don't really want to have to like deal with that again. Like we like kids. We like our own kids, but like they're older now, so they can kind of go do their own thing. We don't need to bring them with us. We don't need to worry about them and all the noise they're gonna make. And they're adorable, but and they kind of give you that look and that they kind of like that kind of like shruggy half smile eye squinty thing. Like you all know. Anyway, so kudos to anybody out there that actually has a dog and a baby, because like that's a lot of commitment. You gotta you gotta make sure the baby's in, and you gotta take the dog out. It's one of those things. Anyways, I was thinking about it yesterday, just the idea with my buddy where he wants to start the business, and just it's one of those things. Like it really hits home. Just the idea how many people they get older and they start thinking they don't have time to do things. Like they don't have. I know we just talked about the dog and baby and not having being able to get out doing stuff, but just the idea as we get older, like, oh, I wish I started this earlier, so I'm not even gonna bother trying starting it now. And like I think that's a little bit like I don't want to say it's a bit of a cop out or like it's kind of weak or anything like that, but I really find it sad. I find it kind of depressing when people just they think that unless you have enough time to like perfectly execute something, they're not even worth trying to do that. And I don't want it to sound at all yesterday like I was being no, like I was being negative or just being I think the right word for it right now, but I wasn't trying to discourage. I wasn't trying to discourage my friend from starting a business. Like I say try it, but I'm also the type of person where with a lot of things I think we don't well not that we use in the general collective, but just like a lot of people don't think about how long they need to actually try something. Like if you take for example, if you take like a diet or something like that, someone's like, yeah, I'm gonna get into shape, and then they give it like a month, and you're like, well, you're saying it's not working, but it's like you spent like 3 years getting out of shape, but maybe give yourself more than 4 weeks to get back into shape. Also, if you're only spending 4 weeks getting back into shape, either you figured you've cracked the code, in which case you're going to be the wealthiest person on the planet, or number two, you're doing something that's not exactly above board with your body, sort of thing. So keep that in mind as well. Or you just well, not even or you need to give it more time, sort of thing. Well, with a lot of things, other things in life, I always think like, you know what? Hopefully no one's gonna hold me to this right now because you never know what life's gonna throw at you. But just the idea, if you're gonna try something, it's like give it 3 years. Give it, you know, easy math. Give it 1,000 days. Give it 1,000 days to see if it's actually something that's working or not. And that's where people get messed up. Because like, if you're like 40 and people are like, give this 3 years, that's gonna be like 43 by the time that's happening. And they get all discouraged about that. It's like, well, how bad do you want it then? Because if there's something as simple as, the time horizon not looking good enough for you, or not being fast enough, or you're being impatient about stuff, or you want immediate results, it's like, well, maybe you don't deserve it, because if it really is something that's worth doing, it might take some time. And the idea with running a business, I do think you need a good 4 years to see if it's actually going to be good or not. Because like a lot of people can get, not a lot of people, but definitely if the river is going the way you want it to with your business, if there's like a trend or something like that, you can think you're a genius. Whenever there's a bull market in the stock market and stuff like that, everyone's a genius. You can just throw money at everything, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got this figured out. And then once the trend starts to, the trend is just all that there. Once the trend starts to reverse a little bit, all of a sudden everyone's losing money and it's not working, and like what you were doing before is not working, and you're thinking like, oh, it was working before, and it's like, well, yeah, it was just working for everybody. You could do whatever you wanted. So the idea, if you are running a business and you do run through a rough patch, the idea, well, like if you can weather that storm, then you'll actually know you're running a business, and very rarely it's going to be something that's not going to be longer than like 4 years sort of thing. So that's kind of what I was getting at. It's just like if you really want to start your business, like definitely start it. If you want to start your diet or just anything like that, it's like start it today, but also mentally go into it knowing, you know what, this is going to be, would I start this today if like, okay, back to diet. Like, if I want abs, if I want like 300, like, Ken Bobby abs. I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen it. I've only Ken Bobby abs, but the idea, like, if you're going to actually want to get that, and someone told you it's going to take you 1,000 days of doing 20 push-ups and, 50 sit-ups a day, someone's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And other people are like, "Yeah, I need it for like, I kind of need it for like next Friday. So like, is there another option? Is there a button we can push there?" So, anyways, I just think that it's one of those things where I get a little bit disappointed when people they see how long it's going to take to do something. It's like, well, you know what? That is the cost of admission to do the thing you're trying to do. Well, something that we need to keep in mind when we want things. Put some ease here. Had a pretty good week so far. A couple of things I want to talk about next week. That's definitely for sure. We'll see if we got anything. I can run the tide here. Oh, we had a G. We don't. Oh, other thing too. I kind of touched on it because I might talk about it next week. But just the idea with like gamifying life. I don't have much time to play video games anymore. I just this like crippling like anxiety that creeps in when I start playing video games, or like I kind of think about it, 'cause I'm like, oh, I should be doing something with my time. Yeah, someone on the internet's like, dude, you're scratch off tickets on YouTube right now. Like how much free time do you really have if you're talking about needing to do stuff? This is a plan. There's a plan in here. 50 grand. That's a plan. Let's talk about that. Let's also talk about what we got here. Do we get taxi? Beep beep. We got taxi. Do we have anything else here? If we need one more, definitely not getting an S. I know we're at the end of our letters here, but just kind of having a quick look. Didn't get an H, didn't get a Y, didn't get an S, didn't get an N, didn't get a G, didn't get a Y. That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah. I think we just got taxi. That's okay. It's not okay in the sense of winning, but you know what? It's the long game. Sometimes you gotta play the long game here. Moving on to Jaws. Who will be next? Back to the idea of gamifying life a little bit, in video games in general. Like I do believe in the idea concept of gamifying life, and the idea where, if you grew up playing video games, like the idea of like, RPGs and stuff like that. I do think that did teach you something about handling money. I know I am who I am. I know I'm where I am. But at the same time, it can't. There's a lot of games, especially role playing games, where like you learn about managing your resources and kind of making sure you can maximize upsides and minimize the downside. And then the thing about it too is like if things don't work out, you usually have a save state and you can just go back and you can give it another try. Unfortunately, life doesn't always give you the old other try, but you need to leave yourself kind of an out. So like if something doesn't work, you're not completely out of the game. And some people might be thinking like, oh, well, if you run out of money, you're out of the game. Or like if you get divorced, you're out of the game, or these things where you're just like, okay, this is gonna mess up your build so much that your game's gonna be really hard to play. But I'm of the thought, well, like either you're in the game or you're not in the game. And it might sound kind of dark for some people, but it's like the only time you're out of the game is when you're and I wish it could like really, air quote, not air quote, but just like really like with my hands, but like you're really out of the game. Like there's no more game for you because hopefully someone, a close friend can write something nice about you to say and be like, oh, really good miss scratch off ticket, man. But the idea where like that's when you're out of the game, because there's always ways that you can kind of claw your way back. Talk more about that next week. There's a couple things that came out this week. I was like, that'd be a good topic. Okay, so we got 7, we got 20, we got 10, we got 25, we got 46. 7, not seeing it. 3, not seeing it. 10, got 2 neighbors here. 9's a neighbor, $5. Oh, 1,100 grand. That would have been the end of the week, sweetness. Not seeing it. And what, 25, not seeing it. And 46, not seeing it. We got a neighbor down here too. What is that? $5? That would have been pretty good. You haven't seen an anchor or anything in a while. Wait, something gone. All right, we got to scratch the bottom, and I forgot to scratch the bottom on crossword again. Okay, what do we got on here? We got a chest. We got another chest. Do we got 3 chests? Do we got total recall here? No, we don't. We got starfish. That's the end of that. All right, back to you. I always forget this at the lucky bottom part here on this. Okay, we're ending Friday. We're ending Friday here. What do we got? We got a boat. Oh, we could really use a boat. We got hot. We got coffee. We got a key here. This is all depending on this, everybody. Going into the weekend. Gonna be watching a lot of Paralympics. Just throwing that out there. And we got a tree. That's it on the week. I can't remember what we're at money-wise as far as like what the week. We're definitely down. I think we might be at 37, minus 37 a week. I think it's $40 a week for the 10 cards that we're working on here. It's $8 a day and 40, and I think we won $3 so far this week. So you know what? It could be worse because it could be minus 40, but I think we're minus 37. I think where we're at. Hope everyone had a fantastic week. I will see everybody on Monday. Thanks for hanging out. See you in the next one. Good luck out there.